as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Joining me on Stockbox today for an interview is George Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals. Hi George, good to be talking to you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, Mark, and it's good to be chatting to you as well. Thank you.
Great. It's good to have you on. And of course, today we're going to be talking about the RNS that the company released this week, which is the appointment of a New York-based broker called EAS Advisors. And you say in the RNS that it will help to assist with introductions to institutions to enable you to proceed with the development of current exploration plans in Africa, particularly with the DFS, that's the Definitive Feasibility Study, at the Zulu Lithium project in Zimbabwe. So can we just start by telling us a little bit around the rationale as to why you've done this, why you've taken this decision at this point, and how does it fit into the wider strategy?
Okay, well, let me start by saying that some of the fundings that EAS have recently concluded, and they're out there in the public domain, they're very easy to find, they've been smart. That's the best way to describe it. For example, putting out, agreeing a significant financing over a period broken down into tranches, but tranches being actually dispersed in advance, and well in advance in some cases, of any equity to offset that. And then with equity that would be advanced or that would be used at prices that are above ruling market prices at the time that the first tranches are being actually paid out. So they've been interesting in terms of the kind of financing they've done, and I think a lot of this is driven by huge liquidity that Prem has, but also a lot of money being available for development into the energy metals sector. And we've all seen what's happened recently with lithium and renewed interest, some of the announcements from some of the automotive manufacturers and so on. And a lot of this is tending to override the country risk issues that Prem has had to deal with for some years in relation to Zimbabwe. And the quality of the Zulu pegmatites, particularly being spodumene rich as well, and being able to produce a very good concentrate, test work having been done by reputable people in Europe. This is driving a strong renewed interest that's coming through, and it's coming through not only from the point of view of potential access to funding to move into the DFS, but also from some pretty significant industrialized entities who are looking at the downstream side and access to lithium carbonate and so on in the medium to longer term. So things like that are driving it. EAS is USA based. There's a strong interest in the United States to support this as well. So I think that it makes a lot of sense to be prepared to talk to these guys, to make the engagement. The engagement is conditional on whatever funding and so on we're going to get to deal with our DFS, and it has to be satisfactory to Prem on terms and conditions we're happy with, and hopefully is going to be in combination with one of the downstream industrialists. So, yeah, that I think is really underlies the rationale for going down this route.
Okay, and why did you choose EAS specifically? You mentioned their institution. Is that what you want access to at this point?
EAS specifically has come up with some smart money recently into the energy metals and some other related junior placements as well. It's been good, smart money. Plus, I also, I've known several of the guys involved in EAS for some time as well. We've always had a reasonable communication, and it's kind of almost those you'd rather be with. Plus, their significant performance in the marketplace, as I say, which is there on a, it's in the public domain already, what they've been doing.
Okay. So what do you hope this enables you to do then going forward?
I hope it enables us to conclude in a form that is acceptable to Prem, access to the wherewithal to embark on the DFS as soon as possible.
Okay.
The original quotation for the DFS still has validity. It was just over $5 million. The time frame to complete the DFS was estimated at approximately 14 months from date of release of funds. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able, with some cooperation coming on the Zimbabwean side as well, to be able to tie down that funding, the mechanisms and so on, and the partnerships, where the partnerships come in, and be able to proceed pretty quickly.
Right, okay. And of course, a DFS is a very significant point in any mining exploration company's journey, isn't it? So that must be feeling quite good that you're advancing towards that. When do you think you might be able to make significant progress on that?
Well, we're able to go to the DFS because we have a previously declared resource. We have completed the scoping study. There were no red flags identified in the scoping study at all. In fact, the scoping study, when we ran a peer comparison to others that had published already similar studies, we were right in the ballpark in terms of all our costs and so on. So that gives us a lot of comfort in being able to identify the process to the DFS. And that's why I'm able to say that using the same engineering practice as did the scoping study for us, the estimate from date of release of funds, actually being able to say, start putting holes in the ground, doing whatever you've got to do, is approximately 14 months. I can't give you an exact date on which we will mobilize into Zimbabwe. We are waiting for the grant of an exclusive prospecting order that enlarges dramatically the area that we already have under license. And we're hoping that that's going to be concluded very shortly. And that will take away, I think, the balance of the country risk issues. It'll give us all a huge amount more comfort and confidence. It'll give us an even bigger scale to the project. And I think that that's going to be the next kicker in the process that we're going into now.
Okay. And just taking a look just across the company as across a wider picture, anything else going on that you can update us on?
Well, only to the extent that it's already in the public domain and that we've already said that we believe there are some very good opportunities, exploration opportunities in the gold space in Africa at the moment. We continue to look strongly at those. We were well supported in a placement last year when we became debt free, and that put us in a position to be able to actively look at some of these gold opportunities. And as I say, we continue to do so. There are processes, there are due diligences, there are various other issues associated with being able to tie any of these down, but we are working extremely hard to achieve that objective as well. I wish I could say more, but I can't at the moment on those.
Okay, well, hopefully soon you can, and I look forward to the day when we can have that conversation, George. But for now, George Roach there, the CEO of Premier African Minerals. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you indeed, Mark.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, Visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.